I'm Elaine and welcome to my kitchen. Well, the other day we went down to the farmer's market and I got these really nice Honeycrisp apples while we were down there. And so I figured that today I would make an apple pie. Now I'm going to be using a very old recipe. This came out of my 1941 edition of the New American Cookbook. Had to do a few tweaks here and there to get it more to today's cooking methods and everything, but we're going to go ahead and get this started. So right here I have about 7 cups of apples that I have cut. I peeled and cored and I've cut into about 1/4 inch thick slices, and we're going to set that aside. And I have my bottom crust all rolled up, and it's in the pan in the refrigerator, and we'll be rolling out the top crust in a minute, but let me turn you down and get you started so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so to my apples I'm going to add, I've already added 1 tablespoon of lemon juice just so that they wouldn't get dark. We're going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, just regular ground nutmeg. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, and let me grab my sugar. Okay, so we're going to add 1/2 cup of sugar. That's what I'm going to use to these apples. You can add 1/2 to, even 2/3 of a cup. It depends on the tartness of your apples. These are the Honeycrisp apples, and they're fairly sweet, so I'm not going to add any more sugar than just 1/2 cup. But if you're using a tart apple like a Granny Smith or something on that order, you'll want to increase that more than likely to 2/3 a cup of sugar. Okay, and the last thing that I am going to add is 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And we're just going to mix this together. I'm just going to use my hand and kind of toss this. I don't want to break up my apples, so I'm just going to toss this with my hands till I get everything mixed together good. And the pie crust recipe I'm using is my foolproof pie crust. And I'll put a link to that down below in the description so you can use that pie crust recipe. Or you can use your favorite pie crust recipe. You could even use the refrigerated pie crusts that are already rolled out and ready to go if you wanted to do that. Entirely up to you. And it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. I just prefer that foolproof recipe. That's really a nice recipe, and that crust comes out flaky just about every time. Okay, there's my apples. Let me rinse my hands a little bit here. Okay. Whoops, went the wrong way. There we go. Now I can see you. Okay. So at this point what I'm going to do is roll out my top crust and get ready to assemble this pie. So when I do that, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have my top crust all rolled out, and let me go over here and grab my pie. And I have put the apples in the bottom crust. Okay, let me turn you down here now so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, I have my bottom crust with the apples in it. And let's turn you a little bit. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I have 2 tablespoons of butter that I have cut up in little cubes. And I'm just going to dot the top of this with the butter before I put the top crust on it. Okay. There we are. I'll move that out of the way. Alright, now let me pull this over because I want you to be able to see this part. Okay, and we're going to put a little flour on that rolling pin. And what I'm going to do is start rolling up my top crust. I'm going to roll that right around. Roll that right around the rolling pin like this. Turn you down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I'll turn you over a little bit so you can see the bottom crust. Alright. What I'm going to do is just put my top crust down and start unrolling it. Just like that. Okay, and there we go. There is my top crust put into place. Okay, little place right there I got to mend. Okay, we're just going to kind of start turning this up on the edge like that a little bit. And so I'm just sort of crimping my edges together with my fingers. Okay, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is just take my thumb and my two fingers and just sort of make a decorative edge here. And we're going to do that just like so. Okay. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this part and then I'll be right back with you for the next part. Okay, I'm back and you can see the edge that I put on my pie, so just want to make it pretty. Alright, and at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush this pie crust with a little bit of milk. And what this is going to do is help this turn a real nice golden brown. Make it really nice. Nice looking anyway. So just brush it on, and if you get little places on the edge like I have right here, it doesn't matter. That's going to cook in and it'll be just fine. Ooh. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take some raw sugar and I'm just going to sprinkle that raw sugar on the top of this, just kind of like I did in my cherry pie video. I always like to sprinkle a little raw sugar on the top of this. Okay. Now I'm going to make a few slits in the top of this so that the steam can escape. Make that a little bigger. Okay, and that ought to do it right there. Now, I have my little pie crust protector. I'm going to put a little foil though on one end of it because this pan is just slightly bigger than this pie protector. So I want to make sure that I get my crust protected on this. I don't want to get it too brown because it's got to be in the oven for a little while on a high temperature. So we don't want this to get too brown. And I'm just going to put it right around there. Okay, there it is. Now I've had my oven preheating to 425 degrees and we're going to leave this pie in there for just about 40 minutes. So when this pie gets done, I will be back. Okay, I'm back and my pie is done, so let me turn you down here so you can see how it turned out. And there it is. Okay, and it came out nice and golden. I got a little bit brown right there on that end, but that's okay. That's where the crust protector didn't quite fit, and it got a little brown on that spot, but that's okay. It's still going to taste good. And whoops, went the wrong way. Okay, and that just some of those little things happen, but it's still going to be good. Okay, so I do thank you for watching, and I am going to list all these ingredients down in the description below, along with a link to my pie crust recipe, so that you can make this yourself if you like. And you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks so much. We'll see you next time.